Howdy, guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes and welcome to the Overnight Feed Recaps, night number 28. A good Wednesday to y'all. We had a lot of conversations that took place early evening, late evening last night. So let's get right into all of it. Now, first of all, as a little bit of a refresher, we do have Monty as HOH on the block. Nicole and Taylor, one of those two will be going home on Thursday night. Monty could still have a little influence on this thing because even though he's not officially voting, it could be a 5-5 tie, in which case Monty makes the final decision about who goes home. We'll see. Right now, the target is still Nicole. If I was a betting man, I'd still be betting that Nicole is the person who heads out the door. But there's enough division in the House that it really comes down to a couple of swing votes. And it is possible that we could have a flip at some point in time. I don't think so. And I think once we get to the actual vote, it's not going to be 6-4, 7-3, 5-5. I think one side or the other is going to see the writing on the wall. They'll all vote with the House and we'll have a near unanimous decision. But for right now, it's a possibility that things could flip just a little bit. So Monty may have some play at some point in the future. So with that being said, let's talk about what did happen last night, because we certainly had some campaigning. Nicole is realizing it might not be quite as easy as she thought it was going to be earlier in the week. Nicole is catching on to this big alliance that's pitted against her. She's calling them the Sorry Six. Now, it's the leftovers minus Michael. She doesn't think Michael's part of the group, and I'll explain why in just a little bit. But she has identified the other six that she believes are working together, and she's calling them the Sorry Six because she says if they cross her, they're going to be sorry. Well, she may be out the door if they cross her on Thursday. So we'll see. There may not be as many repercussions as she thinks, but she has identified them and is a little bit worried about them. Doesn't help any that Daniel at one point approaches Nicole and says, look, Jasmine was talking to Brittany, and now I'm hearing apparently Brittany told Jasmine that she's voting to keep Taylor. So, yeah, Brittany's trying to play all sides a little bit. And I think word got back that Brittany is planning to keep Taylor. So that's not going to make Nicole feel a bit better. All right, there's a big conversation that took place between Michael and Kyle in the bathroom. And I think this is kind of important, not necessarily for this week, but for in the weeks following. Kyle is saying that, look, I love being part of the seven, the leftovers, but I don't want to be number seven of this alliance either, which is interesting because Kyle is part of this pound, the group of the four guys. He, Turner, Monty, and Joseph. So really, I would think Kyle would be thinking he's decently positioned, but he's telling Michael that, look, I don't want to be number seven in the group. I'm a little bit worried about on down the road how this thing plays out. Michael is pointing out that Joseph and Monty have talked quite a bit about having a great relationship with Terrence, with Indy, with Jasmine. And he's saying, who's left? Once we get Nicole and Daniel out the door, they've got good relationships with everyone. And what do they do at that point in time? So they're understanding that Monty and Joseph maybe are spinning the game a little bit. I mean, it's a common target, Nicole and Daniel, and they agree to that. But they are a little bit worried that they feel like Monty and Joseph are positioning themselves pretty well going forward. Kyle is saying that he thinks an alliance of seven maybe is a little big for the House. And I kind of agree. Now, this week, it may make the difference that lets them control who goes home. But going forward, especially as we get to the jury phase, seven is a huge unworkable number. I said it yesterday, and I'll continue to say it. I don't think this alliance, as great as they are, as much as I'm cheering them on, I don't think the leftovers last more than a couple more weeks before you see some splits and some people go in different ways. We'll see. All right, we've got Michael talk a little bit more about it. He's telling Kyle, saying, look, the best thing that could possibly happen is if you win HOH, because if that's the case, then they can't put up Daniel this week. And if Taylor survives this week and joins Alyssa and Indy, then they have a reason that you have a reason for not putting up Alyssa and Indy either, because you can say, I don't want Taylor to have to go on the block again. We already promised her that we wouldn't do that. So at that point, the thinking is they'll force Monty and Joseph to have to go against some of these people they've got the great relationships left with. If Kyle won HOH, it'd be Jasmine and Turner, right? And send Jasmine out. Seems like that would be the most likely option for him at that time. But they're saying that way you can you can make sure that you protect Alyssa. You can make sure that, and I guess the idea is that Daniel is safe, and maybe we get Daniel to work with us somewhere down the road. Again, they're just spinning some scenarios. They're looking forward to the time as they get into jury. All right, let's go from some strategy talk to some less strategy talk. We got a little more kissing between Kyle and Alyssa up in the bumper pool area. He's got it hard. One kiss. It's like a love potion number 9 or something. Kyle is now swearing up and down how amazing Alyssa is. And so far, it hadn't affected gameplay. Maybe not. We'll talk about that. But he's playing with fire. I'm just telling you, Kyle, you're playing with fire, my friend. And it does make me wonder, talking about gameplay, is that why he was talking to Michael? Is he looking about a future where maybe he has a little less bond to the leftovers? Not that he leaves them, but just a little more wiggle room with the leftovers, and maybe a little bit tighter working relationship with Alyssa, as opposed to just a romantic type relationship. I don't know. I think Kyle's trying at this point to do everything he can to keep as many options as possible. As you keep options possible, you also run the risk that you start losing a little bit of trust from some of the other people. All right, we've got Kyle and Joseph and Brittany and Michael all talking in the bathroom. This isn't game talk, but it was very interesting conversation. It was mainly between Kyle and Joseph about dating and marriage outside their faiths, their family beliefs, etc. Michael joined in a little bit, talking about his fiance and how his family handled that and everything. It was just interesting conversation to hear them talk about real world issues and how they deal with it and everything. So if you get a chance, it's a fun one to listen to. All right, we got Jasmine and Alyssa in the backyard. Terrence is right next to him. Terrence kind of not really paying attention, but he can hear, and Jasmine and Alyssa know that he can hear as well, so they're not trying to keep anything secret from him. But Jasmine is telling Alyssa that she thinks Jasmine's saying, my notes are a little confused there, that Taylor thinks that she has the boys' votes and has the votes to stay. And Alyssa is responding back saying, look, Taylor talked a little game with me, very peripheral, very shallow kind of conversation. I mean, she didn't say a lot deep, but she talked a little bit of a game. And Alyssa saying that Taylor said that if she does survive this week, that she's going to join Alyssa and Indy, join their duo. Jasmine and Alyssa don't want to hear that. They're both saying, no, we can't have that happen. There's no way we want Taylor joining up with you, and then Jasmine's a little bit exposed and all that. So they don't like the idea. They don't like the idea that Taylor may be sticking around, but they especially don't like the idea that Taylor may actually join up with them as well. And Jasmine points out, says, look, there's a whole new strategy to that in terms of, protecting yourself and everything else. So they're catching on to some of this. All right. We did have a little situation yesterday, a Jasmine health update. Production took away Jasmine's scooter and her crutches, and she is left with a cane and a boot to move around for the rest of her time here in the house. And she may still be on that boot and have the cane come day 82 if she's still in the house. She's definitely taking her time healing up on that injury, but she did come back outside with that cane and the boot. She is moving so slow. Oh my gosh. They're going to have to make these Big Brother episodes a couple hours going forward, just because it's going to take a little longer for her to get from point A to point B. She's moving slow. Now, maybe it'll pick up a little bit later, but Jasmine's got a new mode of transportation now that her scooter is gone. I guess that means we don't have to hear any more on the episodes, right? That's a good thing. All right, we've got the house guest and the viewers being entertained by a squirrel chewing on a rope at the top of the enclosure in the backyard. I got to say, being in a house, sometimes it's incredibly boring. A bird flying around, a squirrel up on a rope. It doesn't take much to keep those house guests entertained. And as a viewer, I kind of enjoyed watching as well. A little different. So we had that. All right. We've got Terrence talking about the chances of Taylor staying. Terrence is kind of in the middle, but I think he wants Nicole gone. I think that's the intent at this point in time with that going on. We've got Brittany and Nicole talking. The plan is to tell the girls that Taylor is staying tomorrow night. They're not going to wait. They're not going to make it a true blindside. They actually are saying that at some point we need to tell these girls what's going to happen. And I think the idea is they want to make sure that they start working on the relationship with the girls. So if they go ahead and give them a heads up, maybe the girls will feel more comfortable about it. So again, Brittany and Nicole are going to Brittany and Nicole, and not Brittany and Nicole. It's Brittany and Taylor, I think, that is going to tell the girls that Taylor actually is staying tomorrow night. Taylor told Alyssa that Daniel is going home, and then after they send Daniel home, they want to send home 3 or 4 guys. So again, it's Taylor and Brittany trying to maybe soothe things over with the old girls alliance and start working on a little bit tighter relationship. Again, the leftovers, yeah, they exist, but we've got people already starting to send out feelers to some other groups as well. All right, we've got Taylor and Jasmine talking. Taylor's telling Jasmine that everyone knows who's Taylor's targets are. So she's saying, look, you know who I'm going after, right, Jasmine? So if you keep me around, you know I'm not putting you up. I'm not putting Indy up. I'm not putting Alyssa up. I'm going after Daniel. And so jury wise, we should all be safe. So that's kind of Taylor's pitch is, that you're not my target, right? Jasmine is kind of him-hawing around saying, hey, I just don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm just really 50-50 on how this is going to go, Taylor. So I don't think that you don't have my vote, because I just don't know. Taylor at one point asked Jasmine about the post pack and that she'd heard a little bit about it. And Jasmine's playing dumb, saying, no, look, I know who was in it. I can't really say, but I did hear from someone. So I know who was in post pack, but it wasn't me. I wasn't in the post pack, but I know who was in it. And so she's just playing dumb about the whole situation. But Taylor's kind of challenging Jasmine a little bit, or at least making sure Jasmine knows that she is aware that this girls alliance existed that Taylor was not a part of. All right, we've got Brittany and Michael upstairs in kind of that upstairs backyard patio area, that new area. They're talking to Nicole. Nicole is suddenly having game conversations with Brittany and Michael. But in the reality, they're just pumping Nicole for information. They're trying to get what they can out of her. Nicole basically is blaming all of her past actions on Amira, saying I was misled by her. She told me the wrong things. She's again telling Brittany, saying, yeah, I was targeting you last week, but it was only based on what Amira was saying then. And yeah, we're good. You're safe with me at this point in time. She is telling Brittany that Amira had said that Amira wanted Brittany gone over Michael, that Brittany was going to be the key target. But again, that was Amira. That's not me. And now we're all solid, guys. We're good. Nicole at one point says that she trusts Michael 100%. Man, I'm on board with you. I have zero issues with you, Michael. And Brittany says, well, how do I get to that same point? And Nicole says, conversations like this, you're getting there. Yeah, y'all are good, guys. Y'all are good. All right, that Brittany and Michael aren't falling for it. They know that that's not the case, but Nicole thinks that she's kind of pulled one over on the two of them. All right, we've got Michael and Brittany talking just a little bit later. Pretty long conversation. Michael is saying that Brittany had talked to Monty about that Jasmine. That's some of these names. Long night. Michael's saying that Jasmine had talked to Monty about an alliance of herself and Monty and Terrence and Joseph and Indy all coming together. And that Brittany is also saying that Taylor is on board with taking a shot at Joseph and Monty. Again, people within the leftovers starting to have some conversations. So yeah, Taylor saying, yeah, down the road, Monty and Joseph, sure. Now, Monty and Taylor made up, right? They really were going at it in the beginning. Monty wanted Taylor out as much as anyone in this house, but they made some amends and everything. Well, Taylor hadn't forgotten completely. So at some point she's saying, yeah, we can put them up. I'm fine with that. Let's go for the power guys within our alliance. And I'm okay with that. Again, leftovers, another couple of weeks at best, and then I think it's going to fall apart. All right, Michael is talking to Brittany, saying, look, we need to work on our relationships with Alyssa and Jasmine. We need to make sure that we're not just so locked in with the leftovers that we've ignored everyone else in the house. So they're going to do that. Brittany is talking about Indy specifically. She's saying, look, Indy needs to go quick. She says, first of all, she's unpredictable. Two, she doesn't like me. I know she'll put me on the block if she gets the opportunity. So Brittany wants Indy gone. Alyssa and Jasmine, yeah, we'll talk to whatever, but we need to get rid of Indy pretty quickly as well. All right, they're agreeing that Joseph has an ego, that he tends to take over whenever a group is talking, which is true. I've definitely seen that as well. They call it ego. I think it's him just being a bit of a natural leader. But they're saying, let's just let him run with it. Let him think he's making all the decisions. We'll just follow along. And when the time's right, we'll strike. But for now, just let him do his thing. All right, we've got, they're both agreeing that they really need Kyle on their side. Brittany adds in, says, yeah, we need to get Taylor also. We need to make sure that that those two are aligned with you and me and Taylor, and then we can handle those other guys when we need to. Brittany is saying that she wants Daniel out next. Nicole goes this week. Daniel goes next. Then maybe we'll deal with Indy after that. But she sees the target order that she wants to focus on. All right, Michael is hoping. It's interesting. We keep hearing about this speech that Taylor's going to give Thursday night. It's going to be fireworks, it sounds like. Michael is saying that he really hopes that Taylor's speech is going to make Daniel so mad that he targets Indy and Alyssa and Taylor in order to go after Taylor if he wins HOH. So he's hoping if Taylor just blows everything up, calls out Daniel, that hopefully that makes Brittany and Michael a little bit less of a target this week in case Daniel was to win HOH. All right, we've got Nicole and Daniel talking, comparing notes. Daniel is saying that Kyle better vote out Taylor. He just better do it. And Nicole is saying that Alyssa talked to Kyle and that Taylor's going home. Kyle says, yeah, no, we're going for, we're sending Taylor out the door. Well, don't trust so much what Kyle may be telling Alyssa and Nicole. They are complaining about what a horrible actress Brittany is. At one point, Daniel says, I'm an actor. I'm embarrassed. I'm offended that she's such a horrible actress. It's just not right. She may be a better actress than you two think. Daniel is laughing that Brittany thinks that she has the game all figured out. Well, she may have it figured out just a little bit better than you, my friend. All right, Nicole is saying that she has votes. They're counting their votes. Nicole is saying, look, I think I've got votes from Indy, Joseph, Alyssa, Kyle, Terrence, and Daniel. And she's saying if someone does flip and I go out the door, blame Kyle. It's probably going to be Kyle. It very well could be. Probably is going to be. Daniel wants to make sure, though, that he is the last person to talk to Kyle before the actual vote occurs, so he can make sure that he gets in his ear, make sure that everything's good. So he's saying, I'm going to be the last person to talk to Kyle. I'll talk to him during a commercial break to make sure that he's good. No, you can't do that. The little inside scoop, when we're doing the live shows during commercial breaks, when they're showing clips of previously on Big Brother, all that stuff, we can talk a little bit, but there's zero game talk allowed. Zero. It's not allowed. You'll get called out if you do. So if Kyle thinks that or Daniel thinks he can talk to Kyle, unless they both get up to go run to the bathroom to commercial break or something, it's not going to work the way he thinks it's going to work. He should know that by now. But anyway, that's his plan. All right, we've got Joseph and Michael talking to each other. Joseph is thinking that Jasmine and Alyssa are working together, even though Jasmine's been telling a lot of people that she just doesn't really trust Alyssa, but they think they're still working together, and they are. We know that. Joseph is saying that Indy has really stopped talking much game with him. He's a little bit worried about that. They're afraid that maybe these girls are starting to regroup with each other, that they're playing up that maybe they don't quite get along, but in reality, he's saying, they're seeing all of us maybe working together, so they're teaming up the way we did with the leftovers. And so they're worried that the other group is starting to consolidate. And I think to some degree that's true. I just don't think the other group truly trust each other enough that they're ever going to be 100% working together. I just don't see it. We've got Nicole complaining to Jasmine that Monty and Joseph are campaigning against her, and that it just isn't fair that the only people that she can trust are Daniel and India and Jasmine. It is what it is. All right, we got Daniel and Terrence talking. Daniel thinks that the votes could be a 5-5 vote and that Monty will be forced to break the tie. Now, Daniel's counting on Terrence's vote, which is not guaranteed. In fact, I don't think it's going to happen. But Daniel's thinking that, and he's kind of excited to think that Monty's going to be forced to show his cards after this 5-5 tie. to send someone out the door. Well, he shouldn't be so excited because even if Monty shows his cards, I think his cards are going to be to send Nicole out. But I guess you're grateful for little things happening, little gifts when that's all you've got. All right, Terrence is talking to the camera, saying that both sides need his vote. It is actually he and Kyle both that are kind of swing votes, but Terrence is recognizing that he's got a little bit of power this week. He gives a little shout out to yours truly, saying that he understands some of what I was going through, and a shout out right back to you, Terrence. It's a tough position to kind of be a floater and yet controlling your own fate and everything else. So Terrence is realizing that his vote is kind of important this week. We've got Nicole talking to Jasmine. She's telling Jasmine that if it were up to Daniel, that Nicole and Jasmine and Daniel and Terrence would be the final four. That they trust Jasmine more than anyone else in this house. Jasmine's complaining that if she wins HOH, she didn't have anyone left to put up. That she likes everyone in the house. That she'd have a tough situation at that point in time. You'd go for Brittany and Michael, right? That's what I'm thinking. But she's saying she just wouldn't have anyone else to put up if Nicole goes home and everything. All right, we got Turner talking to Daniel. Daniel's pushing hard on Turner, and Turner's just saying, I'm just going to vote with the house. Daniel goes on and on about, I'm saying 100%, I'm voting to save Nicole. I'm tired of people saying, we'll see, all that. Turner doesn't pick up on any of that, just said, yeah, I'll vote however the house wants. That's good for you, Turner. All right, we've got, truly it is. You don't owe anyone information. Just leave it at that. Nicole and Terrence are talking. Nicole again is complaining about the sorry six, saying they can't play her because she's a lie detector. She's saying she needs to have her own show after the Big Brother season wraps, where she'll just talk about how to detect lies. And she says that when she walks out the door, it's going to be to see Julie Chen and to collect her check for $750,000. Well, all right, it's pretty confident, but even if you're that confident, why do you say that in front of Terrence? Why tell someone else that I'm winning the whole thing? I'm getting that check for $750,000. You downplay that. If I'm Terrence, I'm thinking, well, I don't want to give you that chance to collect that $750K. But Taylor's putting the best spin as much as possible on her future Big Brother life. All right, we'll get through this quick. Michael and Kyle in the bumper pool area. Kyle's playing dumb as Nicole says that she walked in on the group of six, that they were plotting. They were talking about trying to not get Kyle not to use the veto so that they could send Alyssa home. This is why Nicole thinks that there's a group of six, the sorry six, that are working together and that Kyle isn't part of it. What she doesn't realize, the only reason Kyle wasn't up in that room is because he is down doing a little kissy face with Alyssa at the time. Otherwise, he would be right up there plotting with them. But Nicole missed that, so now she's assuming that Kyle's more of a free agent when he really isn't. She says, Kyle, look, you are the deciding vote, and that the six are playing you. And Nicole is saying if she survives Sunday, she'll teach Kyle some things. And she's also saying that the other side has been egging her on purpose all week, and it's just irritating her. From that, Kyle heads back to Alyssa downstairs, start making out again. Again, Kyle's got the love bug at this point in time. Kyle is telling Joseph and Taylor and Michael and Turner about his conversation with Nicole, saying that he thinks that she has Terrence and that they need to check with them tomorrow and just make sure that they truly do. But they think that they've got Terrence at this point in time, and I think they do. But they're also saying, Kyle's also saying that Nicole is blaming Monty for everything, that she's saying Monty's behind all of this, trying to get me out the door. All right, we've got the group talking about Jasmine. Turner is saying that he broke his ankle and it healed faster than Jasmine's injury. And that while he was injured, he didn't order people around, ask him to cook for him and everything else. Joseph is calling Jasmine the grandma that lies in the living room. So they're getting a little irritated with Jasmine's injury at this point in time. And then finally, to finish it all up, we've got Taylor talking to the cameras, saying after her speech that Daniel's going to be super upset. So she really needs to win HOH because she knows that Daniel's going to be furious and he's going to be targeting her at that point in time. And with that, lights out at 4:30 or so, Big Brother time. So there you have it, guys. For a Tuesday night, a lot of conversation taking place as people start trying to campaign and do what they can and preparing for weeks going forward. So we'll see what happens this evening. Tomorrow's eviction day, but there'll be a lot of talking going on this evening. There is a possibility they're going to spill to the girls, the idea that that Nicole is going home. We'll see if that happens. If that does, there could be some fireworks tonight. I'm all for it. All right, guys, y'all have a great Wednesday. I will talk to y'all again tomorrow morning. Until then, SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.